This is edition 2 of our Wizard Talks. We'll first put this down. I was just kind of in the middle of my day, and I was nervous, and I was going through stuff, and I was thinking about all these things I have to do, and I realized the presence of my own voice so loud in my head that I was just thinking, wow, this is obnoxious. It's like, that thing is like no control. I gotta do something about this. And the first thing that popped up into my head, and that was the reason why I wanted to make this video, it was a simple realization that made me understand once you say it, it's gonna be the end of that voice in your head. And the affirmation was, worrying about something does not solve a problem or an issue. Only the action does. What that means is that when people go and they're like, nay, I'm worried about this, I have to pay this, I have to take care of that, I have to do this, I didn't do this, I'm the kind of guy that likes to look for solutions. Just that realization that worrying does not solve anything, only the action does, took me to the new place where I was like, doesn't solve anything. Why am I worrying? Why am I going through this constant motion of, yakking, listening to the voice in my head? I'm going to go and make a plan, spring into action. And then I had another realization, which is kind of funny. So, we all have our ego, our mind, and it's constantly talking, it's constantly trying to make us aware of things, be part of our life, be present, and then that voice, the one that requires your attention all the time, it's like a being that the more you feed it, the more it's going to yak. It's going to want you to respond to it. So in some people, that voice is so strong that it takes over. And when it takes over, that's when you end up in a situation where you do not want to be. So the funny thing was, I was walking and I all of a sudden realized, you know what? That voice is not working for me. That voice, the one that's making you worry and feel all those things, it's just useless. So I was like, you know what? I gotta really put it back into its place. I gotta let that voice know that you work for me now. That ego, mind, brain, whatever, the constant talking, I kind of stood up. I stopped. I was walking, I stopped, and I said, bitch, you work for me now. And all of a sudden, it was like things got quiet. There was nothing around. It's like no voice anymore. I stopped worrying. I was like, you know what? Once you start putting yourself into that frequency where your voice is working for you, your inner voice, your brain, your mind, it's tuning you into new vibration where you're working together, then that chatter is not there anymore. And you can do things, and you can focus on things, and you realize once you say that, once you're working together, you're going to get much further, you're going to get things done quicker, and then you're going to stop worrying. This is a short lesson, but I suggest you tell it to yourself. You stop and say, okay, this gotta stop, and you spring into action, and then you just say, you work for me now. Say that to your own voice. You work for me now. We're working together, not against me, because when it's yakking and trying to make you be worried about all these things, it's working against you because you're using energy to listen to it, to try to answer it. But the point is here, you working together, one body, one mind. You basically have to take control over your own body, your own thoughts, because your thoughts are energy. So the more thoughts you produce, the stronger the thought is, the more energy it requires. So if you direct that thought and energy towards achieving your goals, then you're going to be golden. And like anything in this life, you have to drive your own vehicle. You have to drive your own car. And when you drive, when mind, body, and soul are sitting in the same car together, you're going to get very far. It's Dmitry Wild, Wizard Talks.